Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. In the studio today, we've got the formidable and inspirational Red Pill from Know the Ledge Radio. Greetings to you, my brother Red Pill.
Peace, family. How's everybody? I'm honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me on Titans TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching you brothers' movement over the months, and I'm thoroughly impressed with both professionalism, the fact that we're across the pond. You know what I mean? It's a global affair. This has been one of the visions that we've had collectively in the community since our inception. So thank you for picking up the torch, picking up the mantle, answering the call, and doing the good work. So peace, love, and light to the family. What's up?
Woo. Thank you, and thank you again for actually coming onto the show. We've been in communication for some time now. I think it was your brother when I first joined the conscious community in terms of the Blog Talk Radio or Know the Ledge Radio.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, yeah, we need to come onto the show. Like, I'm loving the name Talk with the Titans. Just for that, I need to come onto the show. So this is beautiful. So you know what, you got a presentation in store for us. Today's show is entitled Facts. Could you give us a synopsis of what you've actually got for us tonight?
Okay, thank you for that question. Over the past few months, we've been participating in conferences. We've been participating in the formidable forming of the Voltron that I've been calling for many years. And as a result of that, what we realized was the network that we have, or the platform for that matter, which is Know the Ledge, which is a 10-year initiative or a 10-year venture that me and my brother started. We began realizing that within our network, we had some powerful people. Okay, so we haven't functioned as like a social entrepreneurship or as a functioning organization up until now. You know, we've been a media outlet, we've been a brand, you know what I'm saying? We've been dealing with a lot of things. We've been affiliates with a lot of other brands, or collaborators for that matter, with a lot of different platforms. You know, because my theory is you will get more out of collaboration than you will get out of competition. We exist as independent sovereign entities, the same way that you got corporations like NBC, Fox, CBS, and all of these other, they working together. You know, they collaborate but they also compete. They keep each other on each other's toes, but they also collaborate with the people.
Yeah.
Right now, Talk with the Titans. You have the people that you interview. Know the Ledge, we may interview the same people, UGR, HOK, and things of that nature. So what we realized is a lot of people are looking for solutions. A lot of people are looking for applicable solutions. A lot of people want to realize that the people that are living right now are very important, because we do spend time studying on ancestors. And I spoke to somebody earlier. I saw a video with a brother by the name of Oba, and he said that all religions are ancestor worship. For all of the spooky niggas out there, you know, when you're dealing with religion, you're dealing with ancestor worship, because going all the way to any of the prophets that appear in any of these books, you don't know them personally. You don't talk to them on Twitter. You don't know, you know what I mean? Never spend a night with them. You don't know. You didn't even have a drink with them. You're only interpreting who they are based on the writings of man. It was written. So these people are dead and gone. So it's ancestor worship. It doesn't matter if it's Islam, Christianity, Nile Valley civilization, Moorish history, whatever you're talking about, it's all ancestor worship. All right? And we have to begin to worship, or we have to pay homage to those people that are alive right now. So facts, food, art, clothing, technology, transportation, shelter, and strategies. All of these facets are going to be represented by individuals who belong to our network, our affiliates, people who are on our network, many of these people are not known. They didn't have their time in front of the camera yet, but many of these people are known because they've been on the show numerous times. And we're working with different organizations. We're working with different platforms to bring this together. We have at the end of the presentation a financial solution that once we being legends right now, leaving legacies right now. How old is your seed, brother?
3 years old. He's 3 years old.
Beautiful. So your task, as well as mine and other listeners and people who are in the call, our task is to sacrifice our time and energy in the now because we decided to procreate. We decided to leave a legacy behind.
That's right.
That will last hundreds of years. So there's work to be done right now. Utilize all of these, all of the Kemetic history that we studied, the Moorish history. We began putting a lot of things together, and we realized that there are people that are functioning right now, and there's technology that has been created, and there's new platforms like peer-to-peer economy and collaborative economies and cooperative economies, and even the network, the internet that we're utilizing right now in the electrified age. These are all kinds of, we got to take advantage of the now. So facts is about dealing with the now. I say facts a lot because facts are some things that are not speculative in theory. You know what I'm saying? I like to deal with stuff that's real applicable, and it's not speculative. Technology is not speculative. When I dial my number right now and I called China earlier today, I got in touch with Mr. Lee. When we got online and we logged in, it was a little bit of technical difficulties, but the way that this technology is set up, we're talking to each other. You're across the pond, and I'm in Harlem right now. We kicking it. That's applicable knowledge. That's wisdom. So over the past 10 years, we've been dealing with knowledge, know the ledge. Now this cycle, we're dealing with wisdom. So food, clothing. I mean, because remember before it was food, clothing, shelter. But they leaving out some things. Where's our army at? You know, how are we going to even transport ourselves? You talking about shelter. How are we going to get to where we got to go? You know, what's up with the technology? We live in a digital era, the digital age. They call it the electrified era or the electrified age. That's what the ancestors from 100 years ago called it. People don't understand that Garvey and Noble Drew Ali were tech genius. No, and Elijah Muhammad were tech geniuses. How about that? How about they were tech gurus of their time? But nobody talks about that. So one of the lectures that I presented was the evolution will be digitized. All right. I don't have to prove that. It's in front of us. You know. And another one that I presented was called the conscious industry. Now, unfortunately, you know, our platform is like we haven't spent that much time on our platform. We work with a lot of other platforms. So this year we're gonna be presenting a lot of these lectures that might not have been seen by the public on the platform because it's all, you know, it all flows. But we ended up with F.A.C.T.S. That's where we're at right now. That is the most current project. That's an initiative. That's something that we're gonna be traveling state to state as an initiative, like campaigning, to get this this project up and running. So yeah.
Great. No, I love that.
Absolutely love that.
There's a slight echo in the background, so if you're not speaking at the moment, please mute your mics, and hopefully it will take away the echo. You know what? For most of the viewers who are actually viewing it right now might be new to the channel, let me just introduce you to Talk with the Titans. Talk with the Titans is literally a platform that's been built for the intellectual giants of our community to actually be able to present information, discuss information, and debate critical information affecting our community. So the show's actually split up into, let's say, 3 parts. The first 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to have an interview with our Titan, which is Red Pill tonight. And the second portion of the show is going to be a presentation. The brother Red Pill's got a nice, healthy, lengthy presentation in store for you. And then for the last half an hour, we're going to have some questions and answers. So if you've got any questions for our brother Red Pill, or if you want to just give him some comments to say thank you for all the great work he's done and introduced you, the great information he's introduced you to for the last 10 years, please phone in through our Google Hangouts, which I will send out the link to everybody very shortly. If you haven't joined the Talk with the Titans Facebook group page, join Talk with the Titans Facebook group page. All your updates will be in there. I know most of you must probably been joining us through our speakers corners, where we've been having the debates, where you've been seeing the Christian versus the Muslims, or the Muslims versus the Sikhs, or the atheists, etc., etc., the Kemetics. You know what? There's so much going on the channel. So please, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button down below and stay in tune with everything that we've got in store for you. So, my brother Red Pill, I have to now talk to you about, you know what? Every single Titan has an origin story. Every single Titan has an origin story. So we're trying to find out your origin story right now. We want to know, how did Red Pill become Red Pill? And please, you know, if you want to talk about your brother Blue Pill as well, that's another mighty brother as well. Please let us know, how did that family emerge into the consciousness and you know, produce the Know the Ledge radio, etc. But I want to know your origin story. How did you, you know, get into this conscious community?
Okay. You know, they call me Brother Longwind, so I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to cut it down, because it's an interesting story. I'm glad that y'all asked that question. We are actually, I don't like to put too many cats outside of the bag, but we're working on a webisode series where we're actually going to develop a story behind the 10-year experience that we've had in New York City. Okay, I call it a 10-year. I like to bookmark it as a 10-year experience, because I'm originally from New York City, born in the Bronx in 1975. Hip hop was started in '73, so I consider myself a product and environment that was, you know, the birthplace of hip hop. That's why our energy and our algorithm, for that matter, would be very hip hop, because that's the culture that I identify with, and that is a culture that I'm very proud of, and that is a culture. I'm in this theater with Afrika bambaataa right now. I could bring them right in here and have them say peace to the family. So that's how close my connection is to my culture, right? On my journey, I was in the '90s. What you know as street culture and industry culture was very much, they were interwoven with each other through like places like the Tunnel, through places like the Palladium. These are nightclubs. So we're speaking about an era in the late '90s when we would communicate and socialize at night. All right, New York City is known for its nightlife, the underworld, the streets, and all of that. The hip hop industry. We will all converge on a night scene, but we also would do our thing in the daytime and whatnot. But a lot of us became acquainted with each other through the clubs. Okay, so a lot of people that are big dogs in the industry right now, we all started at the same place. We all started hanging out in the club, partying. We used to be right there with Big. We used to be right there with Jay. Didn't come out that much, but when he came out, you know, because people talk about the artists, but they don't talk about the hoods that they represented and the people who carried, you know, like they wasn't in the club keeping up that legacy that Biggie has. It was the people from Bed-Stuy, Flatbush, Crown Heights. They the ones that carried the legacy into different countries. You would be in the UK, and where Brooklyn at? They right there. That's because we, you know, we come from a place where we exported our culture. We exported, you know, facets of our culture, the way that we dress, the way that we talk, you know what I mean, the way that we carry ourselves. So me and my brother, before consciousness, we're known in the streets and in the industry for our trend-setting ways. We're known for being around people who are quote-unquote famous. In the late '80s and the '90s, we worked for Mike Tyson. We used to be a part of his management. They were managing me and my brother through modeling, and then it went into acting, acting class and stuff like that. This was like 97, 98, you know. But we were in the streets, you know what I mean? We weren't dedicated to it. But it was good because we got an inside look into the industry. You know, all that Illuminati stuff people were coming about with later on in life, we were able to have a real front seat view, you know what I mean, to the ins and outs, to all of that stuff. And I didn't see too many Illuminati. I seen a nigga, but I didn't see too much Illuminati. But later on, once I understood the power of the contract, the manipulation of the Jew, the manipulation of being a contracted slave, the fact that if you sign on that dotted line, it's a wrap. Forget about all of that spooky stuff. It's just a contract. Don't worry about how much a person got signed for. The label is a bank. They're signing you for some shit that you got to pay back with interest. The kibosh is the contract. It has nothing to do with anything else. You'll notice the artists talk about, oh, I wish I knew what I know now. I wouldn't have went through those 10 years of agony. You know, they're talking about being raped with no Vaseline because they agreed to a contract where they get 2 cents off of a 1999 album, a $19.99 album. That's the pain that they go through. So we got to see all of this stuff. You know, I didn't really notice a lot of the funny shit that people talk about, but I noticed the funny guys, you know. I noticed the funny girls. I noticed the energy was very Romanistic. It's very Roman. It's very white supremacy, like Dr. Francis Cress Wilson describes in the ISIS papers in the Keys to Color. Now, quick rewind. 8 years old, 9 years old, me and my brother sat at the feet of Dr. Sebi in St. Croix, you know, literally, because he used to teach when he was he teach barefoot. So we sat at his feet. We learned a lot of this stuff. We read a lot of the books. We were inundated in the early 2000s with all of the David Icke conspiracy stuff. Then we got rescued by Dr. Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett and Dr. Delbert Blair. Okay, audio cassette tapes. The shit wasn't even visual yet. You know, listening to Farrakhan on an audio tape, riding around in the hood and whatnot, you know, doing hood things, but listening to the teachers, you know, coming from the 80s era where conscious MCs were known as the native tongues, Rakim Allah, and these people were forwarding the knowledge of Dr. Malachi Z. York, Louis Farrakhan, Khalid Muhammad was featured on Ice Cube's work. You dig what I'm saying? All of these prominent teachers were teaching us through hip-hop. That was my first teacher. My first master teacher was the 80s era of golden hip-hop. I learned so much deep stuff in that era. And then when Nas came in the 90s, and you know what I'm saying? When Nas came in the 90s, when I first heard the Roscos, The Nature of the Threat, like when I went to Atlanta in 1997 and I saw Outkast live, like at the Tabernacle, when I saw Goody Mob live, you know what I mean? When I saw Erykah Badu and I damn near fainted and my mama had to hold me up and give me something to drink, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in love with her. You know, this was like 2000 with her. You know, because she exuded a level of goddess energy that goddesses exude, but I never saw nothing like that. You know, I saw my mother exemplify it, but that's my mama. I never saw a sister that was younger and she was like close to my age, you know, exuding that kind of energy. So always in my mind, I was like, yo, I would do anything to see this as a reality, to have a community where this is my reality. Anything that I have to do, I need to recreate this. I need to be a part of any movement that's dealing with this. So the influence of the underworld, the influence of the streets, the influence of the knuckle dragger culture, I call it the deaf culture now. We've identified that it's a deaf culture, but people get scared when they hear that. I'm a Scorpio. We deal with morbid things. We understand that in death, the cycle of death involves the cycle of life. You know, as Scorpios, we're into sex, death, and other things that people will run away from. But in sex, all things take place. Okay, that's how life is created. The European and Western society, most importantly through the religions, Christianity and Islam, they got us feeling all kind of ways about natural processes. So we suppress things, and by suppressing things, people have become sick. Okay, very fucking sick. So I was just like, you know, my brother Blue Pill, when he explains his origin story is different than mine because his participation in the conscious community, he's a pioneer, he's a builder of the conscious community. He was the one who introduced Black Dot into a brother by the name of Shabazz and another brother by the name of Chris. These brothers reached out to Philip Valentine, Dr. Philip Valentine, and they reached out to Bobby Hemmett. Those brothers were not doing lectures in New York at that time. These brothers secured a place called Long Island University and created a promoting organization called the Third Eye Productions. And then when Phil Valentine came in, he created what is known as the Metaphysical Underground and the Dark Matter Think Tank. That was the beginning of the conscious community. Because keep in mind, you had the academia aspect from Dr. Clark and Ben, but that was not considered the conscious community. Those brothers were dropping the consciousness and they were going in, but that the underground lecture circuit, a bunch of upstarts who were considered hip hop in their time, because to Clark and Ben in the academia, those were more elitists in a way, and they looked at the young guys that were coming in.
Okay, wow. You know what? We're getting some information.
All of these things, huh?
Sorry, your mic had cut out for a little.
Yeah. So Valentine and all of these master teachers, Hakeem Bey came with the Moorish paradigm. Dr. Delbert Blair was coming in with the occult information. Azazel, which is Azariah. Dawood, Steve Coakley. Nobody talks about Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley is a fucking legend. He was the one who was dealing with all the conspiracy stuff. He was decoding he was the one who started out decoding. So keep in mind, this level of teaching, this level of building, this level of breaking things down, the Europeans were doing that on their level. When Dr. Sebi came in, he disrupted New York. He was a disruptor. He disrupted the whole Kemetic Nile Valley situation because he was saying, look, we're not going to the fucking desert and coming back with some stones. We're going into the jungles of Africa. We're coming back with some fucking plants. Because the stones are not healing you niggas in New York. You're dying. You're not healthy. The stones are not helping build civilizations. The herbs are. And then when he went and beat the AIDS, then he got ran out of New York. I'm not afraid to talk about shit like that. I witnessed how our community will fold in on people who come in and challenge the status quo of what takes place before they came. And they ran Dr. Sebi out, and they ran him and my mother out of New York. Okay? That's what happened in the 80s. And people be jumping on the bandwagon right now and they Dr. Sebi ride, but you know, they're not being honest about what was going on. There was a lot of niggerism taking place. A lot of teachers that are out here now pontificating, they were not holding it down. They were not holding our brother up. Look, Dr. Sebi is just getting his fucking credit in 2015. He just went viral last year. So that goes to show you. So I got he planted the seeds in the 80s in me and my brother's mind. My brother went and took the conscious shit and ran with it. I used to be the brother who was like, get that weird shit away from me. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, what are you talking about? Who's God? Me? I was like, you're weirding me out. This was like 1999, 2000. I was ignorant. So I could relate to the aversion that people in the streets have to the information because I was from the show me state. My thing was, show me something. Don't stop talking that crazy shit, man. Just show me what, you know, you and your friends, you and your guys that stay up all night, you know, because we're talking about before the internet. When you had 10 books stacked, you know, when you were stealing from the library type stuff. You had to, if your library card didn't activate, you had to get resourceful with it. You know, we're talking about going to the bookstores and just laying out on the floor reading all night. No internet, you know, old Dr. York pamphlets, cross-referencing that. Phil Valentine, 11-hour lectures, 8-hour lectures, 9-hour lectures. You know, being privileged to even get an invite to the lecture because it wasn't like they was just giving it to anybody. That was the Metaphysical Underground, LIU, pre-YouTube. Okay, then it became the National Black Theater later on. So I was in Miami. I was working for an artist by the name of Pitbull. Pitbull hired me flew me to Miami to be a stylist. Then he put me on merchandising. Then he put me on the road. They brought me on the road with them because I would sell the merchandise. But then he put a video camera in my hand and was like, yo, get on the stage with us and just film us going in. So I got my exposure to new media. I got my exposure to fashion, right? And I got my exposure to independent because he was a part of a label called TVT, and it was an independent label. So I got a backseat to see how you could control your own destiny without utilizing the machine. Right? I was like, oh shit, this is interesting. You know what I mean? Here it is. People are controlling their own destiny with their own team, and that shit was very. It spoke to my soul. So 2005, I received a phone call from my brother Blue Pill. He needs my assistance in New York City on a legal matter. It's 2:30 in the morning. Prior to that, I was in Las Vegas at the Magic Convention. That's a convention for clothing designers, and I met a young lady who lived in New York City, and me and her had a magical night. You know what I mean? We got to know each other real good and things of that nature. I wasn't dating anyone at that time. I was actually going through a midlife crisis. I was about to turn 30, and I didn't have any children, and I was going through. You know when you go through those things within self, when you have introspection and you don't feel like you've accomplished anything. You're like, here it is. I'm on the road. I'm flying country to country. All of these beautiful women. You know, they just throwing themselves at me. You know what I'm saying? But I feel empty. I'm laying on beds of money. I got all the money in the world, but I feel fucking empty. I feel like I don't have no purpose. I have not fulfilled my purpose. My purpose is not chilling on South Beach with a bunch of Cuban women. Holla. You know. So my spirit was reaching out for something more solid, heavy. I get the phone call. I drop everything I'm doing. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go see the sister in New York. I'm going to go chill with my brother. You know, I'm staying in a mansion in Miami with a group called Duo Live. These brothers were from Brooklyn. They were Nyabingi Rastas who lived in Brooklyn, hip-hop brothers. But they were straight Nyabingi, long locks down to the floor, but they were legends in the hip-hop game. You could Google them, Duo Live. They skyrocketed. Started doing songs with Fabulous, went on tour with The Woo and all of that. These brothers were independent. They were living in a mansion in the Design District. Anybody know Miami, you know Design District. Now Wynwood is the popping place to be, but back then Design District is very prestigious right now. So I was amongst a group of brothers who were independent, who were conscious, who were eating Ital food, living the way that they wanted to live, selling their music, right, and being bosses. And watching videos, DVDs of lectures and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit, this is revolutionary. I never saw anything like that. Prior to that, conscious was poverty consciousness. We were not allowed to live in mansions. We were not allowed to, you know, have thousands of dollars in our pocket. We were not allowed to celebrate abundance. But these brothers broke the mold and said, F that. We're going to go to Miami in a tropical environment as tropical sun people, and we're going to tap into that grid, and we're going to make this shit happen. And we are going to go amongst Europeans, Asians, Indians, Africans, anything you name, and we're going to use our culture and monetize it, and they're going to support us. And I saw that happen every single day for about 6 months when I was working with these brothers. Right? So they were allowing me to document. So now I'm like, yo, the power of the camera is something that it became part of me. Then the clothes and everything became part of me because I was styling, putting clothes together for them. Then I was also working with different stores. I was one of the brothers who helped start putting the army patches on the Dickie shirts. You know what I mean? Dr. Sebi's son, Sasa, he was the one who threw it to me. He threw the idea to me and I ran with it. So I come to New York. My brother winds up, he got incarcerated for some shit that had popped up on him. So it's just me now in New York. Boom. You know, he got jammed up and everything, but it was a skid bid. It was like 30 days. That was the time when he met Malcolm X's grandson, all right, inside of, what's the name, Valhalla. That's in Long Island. That's a facility in Long Island. His grandson did not know anything about his grandfather. Okay, Rest his soul, both of them. Rest in peace to both of them. He was a blood superior. My brother went and turned his lights on. Okay? Turned his lights on. Gave him all of the information about who he was, who his grandfather was. The brother came home and became the living embodiment of his grandfather. So it was a reason why my brother was there. So I'm alone. I'm going through a midlife crisis. I'm staying in the projects in East New York. I don't got no money. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? What am I doing with myself? Why am I here? I pop in a cassette tape. No, I pop in a DVD called Anatomy of Betrayal by Phil Valentine, featuring a brother by the name of Sinetta. In the video, Dr. Phil Valentine says that he's no longer dealing with the brothers in Brooklyn, Shabazz. He's dealing with the new vendor, right? Not Black Dotting them. He was talking about the brother Shabazz because there was something that went wrong with the brother by the name of Rudra, right? And the brother Phil Valentine did a video on it. It was called The Anatomy of Betrayal. It is on YouTube. He gives you his whole bibliography, his biography. So when I learned, I was already watching Phil on VHS. But when I had the DVD, and the brother was like, go uptown and see this brother. This is the new distributor of the information. I was like, whoa, I got to take a trip uptown and go see this guy. You know what I mean? I'm a Brooklyn guy. We didn't do Harlem like that. Brooklyn and Harlem don't really rock. So I went uptown, make a long story short. I met Sinetta. You know, I hung out. I met the Felders. Because everybody talk about Sa, but they don't talk about Jack Felder and Nova Felder, who was out there as long or maybe longer than him, who, you know, who Dr. Felder is a fucking legend, dealing with the AIDS and all of this other stuff. You know, he's a legend. And they're out there in the front line as well. And they brought me to the O'Berry and Dempsey Center when I met Dr. Ben for the first time, that first night that I was out there. And I sat in the class, and I was like, yo, I'm not going home. I mean, the idea implanted in my mind, and then my mother gave me a phone call and told me I need to hold my grandfather down. My grandfather was in his 80s. She was like, she don't know how long he's going to live. So I worked it out where I could stay with my grandfather in Harlem, and I worked it out with Sinetta where I could put a table and set up next to him, because I was like, yo, I'm going to try out some shit, man. I'm going to put some fucking Egyptian designs on some T-shirts, and we're going to see, because you out here with DVDs and shit, so I ain't gonna try to step on your toes. I didn't even know how to make DVDs back in those days. This was like 05. I was like, I'm gonna try to make T-shirts because that's what I do, you know. I was like, I'm doing hip-hop T-shirts with Biggie and Pac on it. I'm gonna put King Tut on one of these shirts, because I was like, your name is Sinetta, and you selling all of this comedic stuff. You selling one of my master teachers. You selling Sebi. You selling Valentine. You out here with your bullhorn. You on your Black Power shit. I was like, I could fit into that, because I'm the youth. You the elder, I'm the youth. I represent the youth energy. So I put a table up. I put my shirts out there. I made 3 sales in one day. I was like, wow, this is interesting. I got $60 and shit. I can eat. You know what I mean? No, I got $45. I was selling them at $15. Black Dot came and invested in me. He put some money down. Sinetta put some money down. And that was the beginning of, and Blue Pill and KT the Arts Degree provided me with the artwork in the beginning. That was the beginning of Kings County. Then later on, we created Know the Ledge TV. Know the Ledge TV is when I finally picked up the camera and did what I was doing in Miami and started documenting everything around me. Because Sinetta was doing his thing in the beginning with Sinetta TV, but we needed different perspectives of the information, because the information only coming from one source. You can't have that in New York City. It's too much people out there with different platforms and different ideologies, and so it was almost like we was in competition when we started. You know what I'm saying? But it was a healthy competition, because we were utilizing technology to innovate, and we were utilizing what it is that we were doing for inspiration, to inspire each other. So Know the Ledge TV came first. That was in 08. A.A. Rashid, Phil Valentine, Asir, the Duke of Tears, me and Blue, you name it. This is pre Umar, this is pre-Polite. Sebi was one of the ones who helped usher in the whole internet era. He was a disruptor. Okay, he came and disrupted the whole fucking. He came and disrupted the DVD game with the internet game. He brought niggas on YouTube in ways, in droves, in ways that nobody else did. You know what I mean? I'm here to say that. Nobody wants to talk about that, but he really did that. But Sa-Neter was doing his thing. Sa-Neter was big on the web in that time. We were big on the web. Who was the other networks? Who else was big? A.A. Rashid had Kabbalah God TV. He was doing his numbers. You know what I'm saying? So we were pioneers in that thing. You know what I mean? We were progenitors in that. And you know, my master teachers, Phil Valentine, my master teacher Sebi, my master teacher
You're cutting out a little bit, brother.
Brother. Okay.
But we mustn't forget Black
Bobby
Magic.
was.
We mustn't forget Black Magic 365, Baba TV,
Black Magic 363.
Underground Railroad.
Yes. Well, Sa-Neter was responsible for Brother Rich, you know, starting him up. That's Black Magic 363. They don't talk about that. Sa-Neter was responsible for Baba TV. You know, so he is a kingmaker, you know what I mean? But me and my brother, we were kingmakers in our right as well. You know what I'm saying? We helped bring in a lot of brothers in the community. We utilize our platform to start a lot of people's careers. We utilize our platform to do what is done, to be the platform so people could get their information and their message and their brands out there. You dig what I'm saying? So we utilize technology in ways that the elders would not have utilized technology because they're the elders. That's not what they do. They you know, they were technophobia. They was like internet what? You know, but after I saw the Matrix, after I understood the power of the computer, after I understood the power of technology, after they officially ushered us into the era of electrified light, the light era. You know what I mean? Like the Matrix did that. Sophia Stewart out this mall. You know, it was on and popping. So my brother used to do poetry out there, and a brother by the name of Moon, a hidden one, Marcus, another brother that Sa-Neter gave, you know, a start to, because Sa-Neter was a distributor of DVDs. So he would set people up in different boroughs. So he set Rich up in Brooklyn, which became UGR. He set a Moon up in Queens, right? So when he set them up with the information, they utilized disseminating information and built their own platform of taking it further into building media. Now Rich is almost at 100,000 subscribers with, he might have about 10 million, 20 million views in total. And let's not even talk about what Sa's doing. You know what I'm saying? And Know the Less TV is still up there. You could Google it. That's like a museum. That's you get to see videos from 2008, 9, 10, 11. You get to see some of your favorite teachers in the beginning and the inception phases, the evolution of them. You get to see people who may be part of the ancestor realm, because you know there's a lot of people who have gone unsung who made transition. Sister Myra L, Uriel Bay, Dr. Ben, of course, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. There's a few people that made transition that people don't even talk about, you know. So that was my beginning, bro. You know what I mean? Like that was my humble beginning. That was my inception. I had a lot of visions in my mind, and I'm humbled to say that I've seen a lot of them come true. So the vision that I have now for us, I'm a visionary, I'm a futurist. So the vision that I have us for now in 2020 and beyond is something that I'm arduously pursuing, because I can't find too much out of the visions that I had from 2005 up until now. The only thing that I could give the community is to tell the story from 2005 to 2000. The only thing I could do is legacy. I could give you the story and show you how this thing has played out to where it is now, but the vision that I have for the next 10 years is what the conversation that I really want to have, because we could reflect, but the proof is in the pudding. Look at us. Look at where we at now. Look at the people who have stood the test of time. Me and Sarah Suaseti made an agreement when we met in 2007, when the whole thing was going down, when he was banging on the Moors and all. There's a video that Sa put out. When I introduced him to Sa-Neter, like, Sa-Neter, I want you to meet this brother, Sarah Suaseti. He's a viral sensation. I think he'll add on to what it is that you're doing. Because it's rough out here for you with the Black Power shit. The Moors was going ham on him. You know what I mean? They was going crazy. He'll tell you. You know, it's like in the movies and shit. Like when a nigga got it, like Lord of the Rings, when you know they got to get rescued by the people on the horizon. You know, that's what Seti brought. And we were just like, yo, may the best man win at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Some people are gonna come and they're not gonna make it. You know, still sharp and still. Some people are gonna come and they're gonna try to carry this shit and they're not gonna make it, because this is one of the most difficult and this is one of the most challenging. I've been through a lot of stuff. Like I promise you, family, I've been through a lot of stuff. I've been in a lot of circles and I've been in a lot of movements. And this is one of the most challenging and spiritual movements that I've ever been a part of. You know, the ancestors control the destiny of a lot of us. The ancestors control the movements of a lot of us. There's a force that the people cannot identify. There's a spiritual force that governs this whole shit. You know, and it tests you, it puts you through tests, because, you know, we're making history and we're part of history. And, you know, there's a lot of quote-unquote black people on this planet. And when you look at it, there's a small percentage of us that are in the beginning, in the front of the race. And I know these people's names. I got their phone numbers in my phone. I got their email addresses. I could call them up and talk to them like I could talk to, you know, it's almost like family. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to be a part of that. You know, when I started, it wasn't no youth movement. Now it's a youth movement. The youth is in here, almost millions of us. You know, there are elders that are making transition now. There's elders that are passing the torch. They're saying, yo, I want you to do this. Do it like I did it big. You know, okay.
And you know what?
You know what?
Let me just
Let
say
me
this
just
from
say
you
this from
now.
you
If
now.
you're
If
loving
you're loving
information
information
you're
and
hearing
you're
so
hearing
far, please give us a big thumbs up. Let us know that you're liking the information, and share this video. Share this video like crazy. Let everybody know that our brother Red Pill is actually in the studio right now, and he's just about to start his presentation, the F.A.C.T.S. facts presentation that he's got in store for us. So if you're ready and you want to hear this information, please hit the share button and hit the like button, because we're about to go in. My brother Red Pill, you know, I just cut you up real quickly because we need to get this presentation in right about now. But I want to know this last question. I have to ask you this, okay? Because you've literally interviewed hundreds, if not, you know, coming up to the 1,000 mark. Of teachers, lecturers, authors, great personalities within inside of the community, etc. I want to know, you know, who has been the most impactful person you've actually interviewed on radio or on the YouTube channels or on the videos, etc. Who has been the most impactful, and what's the most important thing you've learned whilst being in the conscious community?
Yeah, that I can't answer that question as a person, because I've been impacted every Tuesday and Friday, 9 p.m. on Know the Ledge Radio. I've been impacted by damn near every interview I did on Dinetta TV, Dinetta Studio, and it's hard, brother, because these shows are therapeutic for me. You know, they've assisted and aided me in my personal transformation from a knuckle dragger. You know what I'm saying? I was a fucking knuckle dragger. Like, I was dead. You know, I was a zombie. You know, and people might look at what I was doing in the 90s and stuff like that, and oh, you wasn't no zombie, you was popping. And I'm like, no, because what I know about, I would say this, in my unconscious state, I was still proven to be conscious. Because when I studied later on down the line, I was like, oh shit, when I got into these books, when I studied the ancestors, then I was like, yo, I was already doing that in the unconscious state. So it's just a reaffirmation or reassurance that I was always on the right track, but I was dead to who I really was. I was dead to the information, so I was still perceiving my reality to be something totally different than what I perceive it to be right now. White people or European pilgrims in my eyes were 100 feet tall when I was a fucking teenager, based on the programming and the lies that they told me and the motherfucking propaganda that they were giving me. I was looking at them like they were bigger than who they are. Okay, and I was looking at my people like they were smaller and they were not as important to me and my transformation or my growth and things that they are now. That was one of the big things. So that every single person that we interviewed, Dr. Sebi was one of our best interviews. But hold on, Sophia Stewart was also one of our, Mama Pill was one of the best interviews. Dr. Phil Valentine, who was on our first show. We started our show. We did our 6-year episode. Our 6-year, our first show, we birthday, okay? To uphold his legacy in 2008, I believe it was, or 9, when a lot of people were going against them and a lot of information, misinformation. So Phil Valentine was on our first show, handing us the torch, like, yo, you the brothers that are gonna do my work. You know what I mean? You the master students. I'm giving you full reign. You know what I mean? I'm passing the torch. Here it is, online, live. Sister Roz Mariah Bay came on that night. Taj Tariq Bey. We've had so many classic shows, brother. I would be almost I couldn't pick a favorite one. I couldn't pick a favorite one. And Polite has some major shows on our show. Umar has some major shows on our show. Hakeem Bey has some powerful shows on our show. Powerful. It's just so many, brother. It's so many. And what was the last question about the conscious community?
What was the last question? Before I ask you that last question, I want to ask you right now, where can everybody find you? Where can they find the Know the Ledge Radio and your shows?
The best way to find anything that we're dealing with is going through Google, because it's all viral. So Know the Ledge Radio and Google will take you to Blog Talk Radio. We're on iTunes. We're on Blog Talk. We're on a few different platforms where people have added us. You feel what I'm saying? So, but our home is Blog Talk Radio. Our archive has 600 shows in it. And all of them could be downloaded. They're all free. Our YouTube channel is Philip T. Moreland, which is my government name. All right? That was just to give you a rundown of what Red Pill is, because Red Pill is Philip is my name. That's my given name. People call given names slave names, and I disagree with that. I don't have a problem with an individual referring to their name as a slave name if that's how you see yourself. But I know that before I came here as a spirit, as a light being, I already chose who my parents were going to be, what my name was going to be, and all of these things. These are predestined. So when I did the research, I got a name reading on my name, and the sister was like, PHI is fire. That's fire. That's red. LLIP is flip that around. That's pill. So you're born to do this shit. Go do it. And that was it. Like, there wasn't nothing more to it. You know what I'm saying? So my first name is my name, Red Pill. And I've been through different names, Filthmore, Twin, but those are all alter egos. I tell people that you are not, once you change your name, you still that person. Like a person call you out of your nickname, you're going to respond to that person as the person who they just called out. Then you might update them and be like, yo, my name is, Patara Amin El Bay. You might give them the new name. But your planes of existence are attached to your titles and your names or your alter egos. You don't change. You just evolve. But you're still that person. You know how a person be like, don't let me go back into my nigga self. You can still access that person and go back into that person and get busy. It's Avatar. So
quickly, the transformation. What can you say is the most transformational information you've learned from the conscious community or learned being within the conscious community?
That this whole journey is a personal journey. That was the most powerful fucking lesson that was ever given to me. That you could watch a Umar lecture, but he ain't gonna raise your kids. You could watch a Polite lecture, but he's not going to make money for you. You know what I'm saying? You could watch a Sarah Sutin video, but he's not going to fight for you. You know, all of these personalities and all of these characters with all of this information that they have and all of these lectures that we watch and all of these debates, all of this information should be utilized to help transform the person inside of you. If you used to be a nigga, your goal should be to de-niggify. If you used to be a Christian, then your goal should be to de-Christianize or to evolve. What the fuck? Like, we all started out in kindergarten, but some of us got our master's degrees, our PhDs. This is a journey. You know what I mean? So, yeah, people started out Christian, then they went into the Nation of Islam or Islam, then they became Kemetic, then they got into RBG, then they got into more science, then they got into the occult. God damn it, that's a healthy person to me. I'm like, nigga, you're traveling, you're not stuck. Your wheels, you're not fucking, you don't have a flat on the side of the highway. You're not stuck in an organization or a mind state. You're still evolving. You're growing wings continuously. You're unraveling. How the hell do these niggas talk about we're millions of years old and they can't appreciate that a person could jump into multiple schools of thought and knowledge and discipline? That was my thing in the community. Was I was hyped when I realized that I had so many fucking options. I love options. I'm mastering all of these schools. I'm not stuck in one school. I'm everything. I'm 720. These Negroes is 180 with they shit. That's why they limited. They can't fly. Yo, I'm telling you, there's some people out here that be talking about God. Then there's some people out here that's Godding. We have to be able to differentiate who the fuck is the difference. You know, you got scholars that will give you the rundown of the gods. But then you got gods that have reincarnated and they become scholars. It's a difference. It's a big difference. So I'm in a community looking for the gods and the goddesses. You know, and the people that like to research and study and be all in the past and talk about romanticizing shit, I let them study us. You know, if they want to do that, they could study, but they will never tell you about the living God for right now. They're always going to tell you about some dead people. They always going to tell you about the ancestors, but they will never acknowledge the living and true and living right fucking now. And that's the problem that I got with the community. This shit is so fucking jacked up in regards to that. It's so egotistical. It's so limited. You know what I mean? Like it's mixed with it's so many different breeds of pedigree of man and woman. So that's some of the shit that you see unfold in the community, like up to right now. Those are the frictions that you see. Those are the challenges and the battles that you're seeing, because it's just some people that can't be around other people. You know what I mean? Because some people's purposes are completely different than some other people's purposes. You know, and it comes out in the wash. So one thing that the community, what I could walk away saying is, if the information does not transform self, man, know thyself. It was on the walls for a reason. Man, know thyself. I have a twin brother, and I don't know him. You feel me? That's an egg that got split in half. It was a powerful entity or being. And if any of us study the Abeji, if any of us study the twins, the Heru twins or the Hero twins, you'll understand the power of the twins in your community. You would get, you know, people would give us a little more fucking respect, because the twins in your community mean a lot. So you're talking about an egg that's split in two, right? And I don't even know him. It's certain things that he has in his DNA and his makeup and in this personal experience. He got stabbed in the neck before when we were teenagers. Somebody tried to take his life, but prior to that, somebody stabbed me in the head, right here, like a little thing right here. Those experiences that we both went through are unique to us. I had to sit back and assess what was my karma that had a person come up and try to body me. What was his karma that made a man come on a train and just stab him in the neck when he was a teenager coming from night school? You know, those are different experiences. So he got to deal with, he might have, when he sees a person coming through the door on a train, he might have a different perception of what may happen or what's about to go down, versus when I see a nigga come through the door, I'm like, oh, this nigga might about to ask for some money or some change. You know, he might be like, oh, this might be another person trying to stab me. So our personal experiences, the things that we go through, the vision that we have of ourselves and our higher self. How are you going to climb that ladder and get to your higher self? What tools are you going to use? Which one of these teachers speak to your higher self, and they're providing the resources and the tools that you can use to climb that ladder? Because you're not going to get to your higher self watching lectures only. You got to do the work. You got to let it burn, you know. And I let this shit burn for 10 years, and I'm telling you something, brother. This is not an easy task, because I still got 40 more years to go before I reach the fucking level of where I want to really be. I'm only operating at 20% right now. I could say that without being ashamed. Like, I'm only operating at 20. I'm not even finished rendering. You know, that's what it is.
Wow.
Okay.
So we're gonna go into the presentation.
Yeah, let's get into that
now.
And for those who
are watching right now,
sorry, there's a bit of an
echo in the background.
Okay, so for those who are watching right now, who will actually be coming to the UK on the 30th of January, for a whole week, he's going to be doing a seminar down here at an initiation. I believe the seminar is called Gods and Angels, something along those lines anyway. But he will actually be on the Talk with the Titans show this Friday. We're going to have an emergency show where we're going to bring him on, and we're going to go through some metaphysics and some spiritual information with you. The following week, we're going to have Team Osiris in the building. So, you know, I look forward to seeing Team Osiris, Ngozi,
shout out to
Kufu, Konsu. You know what? Salute to those brothers out there. Team Osiris is on the horizon. All right. So we're going to go into this presentation. I'm actually going to start screen sharing, and you just have to let me know.
Yeah, go right down to when I start with F.A.C.T.S. This is just promoting the brands, showing you different shows that we've done, you know, for the people, because a lot of people are not familiar. You know, they see me on Sinetta, they just think that I'm doing interviews, and, you know, that's cool, but that's not necessarily. This is a study guide that we have coming out. If you could flip right back up to that, we have a study guide that we're releasing. It's over 600 pages dealing with the Moors and antiquity. That will be released sometime this year, all right? It's being revived. It was already out before, but we're putting it back out because there's a lot of people out there that want to know more about Moorish history. Even the brothers that are in the temple, the Moors in the temple, you know what I'm saying? Come to find out that they don't have a lot of information and whatnot. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that, all right? So today's presentation, family, is going to be real brief. I'm going to run through it. When I do have more time, I will expound on it. Hopefully, I'll see the brothers and sisters in London very soon across the pond, because F.A.C.T.S is an initiative, but this is applicable to your organization. This is applicable to all organizations. This is applicable to all groups. You could be Nile Valley Civilization. You could believe in blonde hair, blue-eyed giants that came here to mine the goddamn globe for gold. You could fall in that category. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As long as you identify with the mission, as long as you know that we are doing this to eradicate and to combat and to go against and to counter racism, white supremacy that has basically destroyed us as a people. But we look at it, not that it destroyed us, you know, we look at it the way that it's supposed to be looked at, that, you know, when you go to the gym, or when you apply pressure to a piece of coal, it creates a diamond. When you go to the gym, you got to put a lot of fucking weight on them barbells to get the best optimal results. That is, if you're trying to get big, if you're trying to expand, if you're trying to grow, you understand that the more pressure that you get, the better the results. So this pressure that we're receiving right now from the system, or the energy or the mind state that the European has enacted, you know, over the past, you know, I would say 500,000 years and whatnot, the rise of Christendom, you know, we got to get back. We're going to strike back. So F.A.C.T.S is food, arms, or army, Okay, art as well, clothing, transportation, technology, shelter, strategy, food. We're talking about agriculture, health and wellness, self-preservation, arms, security, self-preservation, Second Amendment, private paramilitary, law enforcement, and cyber warfare. You see the demonstration is taking place in Oregon right now. They are showing you the power of being able to have a paramilitary units, have militias that are armed, okay? They are private citizens. You got to remember the people in Oregon right now, those are your paper soldiers. They're the crackers that deal with sovereignty, okay? That's the Bundys in them. They're the ones that do the paperwork to deal with the sovereignties that some of the Moors and other people have jumped on and whatnot, but they're the ones that are utilized. That's why they're untouchable. Why the fuck do you think that the police are going over there and shaking their hands? It's not that, all right, there's a level of white supremacy and technology that is evolved. Yes, but please believe that it has a lot to do with their paperwork. Please believe it has a lot to do with the fact that they know what the fuck they're talking about, okay? And they're not talking in colorful language, and they're not talking like minors, and they're not talking like chattel property, and they damn sure not carrying themselves like slaves, so they're not being treated as such. Cyber warfare, I could take you on a website right now to show you how real that shit is. That America is being hammered and the shit is being bombed every fucking minute, okay, from China and India and other places where they participate in cyber warfare. We need hackers. Hackers are simply people who solve things. To hack something means to come up with a solution for something. We need white hats. We need black hats. We need hackers. We need hackathons, okay? We need law enforcement who are going to be trained to participate in protecting their own communities. Nobody told our people to become law enforcement. You had to work for these European corporate entities. No, get your own land and be law enforcement on your own land. There's plenty of demonstrations where people are doing that, okay? Clothing, uniformity, apparel, manufacturing, wearable tech, and industry. And keep in mind, inside of F.A.C.T.S, this is an economic solution based inside of the whole program. The initiative is dealing with missions and building up what it is that we say that we want as a nation. Clothing, uniformity, and apparel. Everybody needs clothes to wear. Everybody needs underwear. Everybody needs socks. Everybody needs pants and shirts. We have to begin producing our own thing. It makes no sense to study Kemet. It makes no sense to study any of our ancient high civilizations if you don't look the part. You gotta wear. You gotta wear. You know, they were digging up our ancestors in the mounds and whatnot, and they were layered in copper. They had copper and they had precious stones and stuff like that. When you look at the sarcophagus, when you look at Tutankhamun, when you look at how they were burying their ancestors, they were burying them in precious stones and precious metals. Okay. So, and then when you look at the Nation of Islam, the way that they dress, 100 of them look like 1,000 of them when they're dressed the same with the bow ties. When you look at when the Moors come out with all the fezzes on and they're dressed up. When you look at the RBG dressed up in the all black with the RBG when Khaled used to march. We have to have uniformity, family, because inside of uniformity is unity. We have to begin to look like the army that we are, look the part. The army can't show up, you know, and everybody's dressed differently, you know what I mean? And they just got hammers and whatnot, but they wearing hoodies and baggy jeans, and one person got a hat backwards and another person got a hat that, you know what I mean? Like, there's uniformity. Clothing. So we also talking about wearable technology, the industry of clothing. There are multiple brands out there, multiple clothing lines. We want to be able to provide a service. We have multiple, and all of these, keep in mind, inside of our network, we already have all of these structures at place. We have people that are doing horticulture. We have people that are doing agriculture. We have people that are doing health and wellness. We have people that are dealing with self-preservation. Okay, we have people that are dealing with the army, the arms, the paramilitary aspect. We have people that are dealing with clothing, transportation, travel, distribution, manufacturing. Right now, Uber is a multi-billion-dollar company. They're utilizing the aspects of transportation. The Asians have a bus service that go everywhere from Atlanta. You could take a bus from New York to Atlanta on the Asian bus line for $40. Okay, that shit used to cost $100 some odd. You could travel anywhere damn near in America with the Asians. So we have to develop transportation lines amongst the conscious community. There are people in the community that need to travel. If it's only food, clothing, and shelter, how the hell do we get to our shelter? How do we move around? Transportation, technology. We live in a time of app development, service as a software, computer language. Yeah, it is important to learn the Medu Neter. Yes, it is important to learn the Nubian language, but we must learn CSS. We must learn Ruby Rails. We must learn PHP. That is the language. We must learn algorithms. That is the language to run the world right now. Okay? It's modern day languages that will take you into the future. Fuck it. Make an app for the Medu Neter. Where's the app? Where's the Medu Neter app? I'll wait. Okay. Shelter, lodge, security, real estate, earthships, community, economic strategy. We need shelter. We got shelter. There's ways to get land. There's ways to build on the land. Monolithic domes, earthships. We got communities. We could build bigger communities, startup communities. Okay? And inside of that, we have economics, real estate, economics, getting your land back. My last name is Moreland. I'm here on the land of America. Let's be clear. This is our land. All right? Africa, we got land over there too, but this Northwest Africa. Google this. Pieces of Africa found underneath Florida. Pieces of Africa found underneath Alabama. Pieces of Africa found underneath goddamn Georgia. This is Africa. I was just in Miami. Nobody can tell me that that's not Africa. That's not a part of Africa. Okay? So I want this land. Because everybody's coming here for a reason. All right? I'm not leaving this land to the fucking European. They're pilgrims. America, South America, North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. They stole that in the fucking Inquisition. They stole that in the Crusades. They stole that after Columbus. That's not their land. And niggas would be the dumbest Negroes on the planet to ever give them that. They took it, but you better take it back. Shit. Strategy, political science, war college, and some plans. We can't put everything on YouTube. Everything that we got to talk about, I can't talk about it online. I can't talk about it over the fucking Facebook. Where's the dark web at? Why is nobody talking about the dark web? Why is nobody talking about going into rooms where the shit is encrypted? You know what I mean? Why is nobody dealing with closed door meetings? I've been in one closed door meeting. I've been in Harlem for 10 years. Everybody be doing shit in front of a camera. When the camera's off, nobody want to talk real shit. All right. All right, we could go up. Food. Okay? Food. The food is GMO. The food is not real. The food is killing us. The #1 killer of African Americans is heart disease, strokes, and it's cancer. That's all fucking food. All right? How could you trust anybody who has shown you that he was willing to fucking destroy you by any means necessary? How are you going to go to that person and feed you? You are insane, okay? We got to start growing our own food. We got farmers alliances. We have people who have licenses in hemp. We got people who are legally growing marijuana, okay, for medicinal purposes and recreational use. That's food, all right? So scroll down real quick. This is our contribution to food. 7 Heaven sea moss, 92 trace minerals. It is a superfood. It has iodized bromide. It regulates metabolism. It suppresses your appetite, and it helps with digestion. It helps growth of hair and nails. Inside of that, sea moss, avocado, coconut, banana, almond, agave, water. Y'all over there across the pond, so you never tasted 7 Heaven sea moss. But anytime you talk to any one of these teachers, anybody that comes on your program, ask Gano. Okay, ask Black Panther on the Amin Ra squad team. Ask him how it tastes. Some of the best tasting sea moss that you ever have in your life. All right. So this is a food that we're bringing to the family. You know, this could be used as a formula for the babies. You don't got to give them the Infamil. If you even if you're nursing, you could take the sea moss. It will help you. It will help your milk become more nutritional. You could give it straight to the baby. You know what I mean? So while you're nursing, if you don't want to nurse, you can feed the baby some 7 Heaven sea moss, okay? We are going to be shipping overseas very soon. We just have to, we're working on coming up with the preservatives. Because it's live. It's a live food, so, you know, it has a shelf life. All right? Soul gold drops. Yeah, scroll down. This is another food. The body has gold in it. The body has silver in it. We have gold water, alkaline water, where we put gold and silver and copper liquid, not derivatives of real liquid gold, actual gold in its liquid form. That's what we're sharing with the family. Okay, you can scroll down. I gotta run through this. Art is the only thing art is not the only thing, but art is one of the things that appreciate with value. This weekend I was in Miami. I went to a section, an area called Wynwood. You could Google that. 10 years ago, when I lived in Miami, the Wynwood section was a dilapidated, worn-down area. It was populated by Latinos or Arawaks or Tainos, and you would get robbed at night if you was in that area wearing the wrong things. I went back 10 years later. All of the warehouses in the dilapidated areas have been upgraded by artists who put artwork as not graffiti. They put murals on all of the buildings. The whole district is filled with art. Now the district is one of the highest real estates in all of Miami. It is popping. It's more popping than South Beach. So art, when we begin to regentrify our own neighborhoods, we have to apply art. We have to put our motifs. We got to put Kemet on the wall. We got shout out to Gano Grills. He is an artist. He is a world-renowned graffiti artist. So we will utilize him and other people to beautify our neighborhoods and beautify our villages and beautify the towns when we take them over and when we begin rebuilding. This is some jewelry right here, just showing you these are expressions of art. Everything that you see, from the clothing to the jewelry, all of this is art. To the you know, even the artwork that is being done through graphic design for the conscious community, appreciating and value. It is helping the value of the community appreciate. So we are calling on all artists. We are calling on the artists in our community to come together. The videographers, the screenwriters, the costume designers, the animators, the graphic designers. You know what I'm saying? The editors. All of you're needed right now to usher in a renaissance. Don't work against each other and don't work separately. Come together and work as a unit. How the hell, when you see a movie, when you go and watch Disney or one of these Pixel movies where it's dealing with animation, at the end of the fucking credits, do you see one person's name? I've been going to those movies for a long time, just waiting for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for it. But there's hundreds of animators, there's hundreds of people when the credits roll. So that will go to show you that if we want to do something that's going to be historic, that'll go down in history, it's going to take more than just one of us doing it. It's going to require a group of us working together. Scroll up. Yeah, we can continue scrolling. This is new media, another version of art, videography. We're just showing you new media rule number 1, content is king. That's why you will find Red and Blue on multiple networks, UGR, HOK, Baba TV, KTL, Forbes DVD, as well as other places that we collaborate, because we know that content is king. Get your content out there. If you got something that you want to build on and talk about, I'm encouraging our brothers at Titans with TV, shoot videos, shoot as much content as possible. Get your information, get your stuff out there. We are being inundated with negative imagery and negative content every fucking moment. Look at World Star Video. They come out with all of this nigga content every fucking day. So where's our content? We got to go against that. We got to flood the networks with real fucking talk. We got to let the world see that there's groups of intelligent black people around the world that are not ready to die, all right, as a nigga. You know what I'm saying? For some nigga shit. You know, No Ledge Media. This is an initiative that we're launching later on this year. We have a streaming service called Netflix, okay? It's going to be streaming all of the different platforms, some of the never-seen-before footage, including programs that are going to be created just for the site. So webisodes, short film, music videos. It's going to stream music and it's going to stream film. That's Netflix. Scroll up, please. That's dealing with art. This is the movie cameras and equipment that we're going to be utilizing, the Black Magic, the Red Camera, drones, and some other things. And we're encouraging the family, if you're ready to invest and get into picking up software or hardware, get into the Red Camera. Get into the Black Magic camera. If you have access to funds, if you have access to these cameras, please utilize, get these cameras because we need these cameras as resources. We will turn to you if you're not part of the network and you want to do outsourcing and things of that nature. I would rather spend money with you. I would rather work with you than work with some fucking Europeans. Shit. I'd rather work with you than work with some strangers who don't care about us. Scroll down. Maker spaces. We're going to create something which is we're going to be a part of the maker spaces. Maker spaces is basically utilizing a workspace, getting a 3D printer machine, laser machines, laser cut machines, and getting busy. Taking these fucking kids off the street, taking these people that's in the conscious community who, you know, they be in limbo sometimes, just waiting for a lecture to pop up with nothing to fucking do. You know, taking some of the creative people in our community that have all of this energy and all of these visions and whatnot and put them into a maker space, right? And providing them resources so they can make some shit, okay? And then they can monetize that and create a brand, create a product, create a service, like something, because niggas ain't doing much of nothing, you know what I'm saying? So you got to do something. So maker spaces, Google it, and you will be pleasantly surprised as the progress that these maker spaces are having as we speak right now. It's not speculative. It's not speculative. It's real fucking talk. Like, it's really going on right now. Okay? Yes, we can scroll. Just more stuff. Hip-hop, another aspect of art. Hip-hop, trillion-dollar industry. Like I said, I go in the hallway, I go right in the room where they're doing the lecture right now and go get Afrika and bambaataa. The architect, one of the fathers of hip-hop alongside Kool Herc. You niggas thought it was Russell Simmons or one of these niggas, one of the weirdos. No, it's Afrika and bambaataa. He created the culture of hip-hop, because when people see hip-hop trillion-dollar industry, you might think I'm talking about rap. No, that's what that radio right there is for. That's rap. Rap is one of the 5 pillars of hip-hop. Hip-hop has 5 pillars to it. It's a culture. It's breakdancing, or dancing for that matter. It's the art or spray painting, the artistic aspect. It's master of ceremony, which is the rapping version, the musical aspect to it. It's culture, which is the knowledge. It's doing the knowledge. It's the shit that they showed you in the 80s, where you take the information and you educate. You educate and entertain at the same time. You give them the Father Allah messages as Wu-Tang, or as Rakim Allah, or as Brand Nubian. You know what I'm saying? Or as Lakim Shabazz. That's how you reinterpret the knowledge through the music. That's called hip-hop. They're at war with hip-hop. When they're shooting people in the back 16 times, when they're killing people because they said Trayvon Martin looked like a thug, he had a hoodie on and he was wearing baggy jeans. Nigga, that's hip-hop. They're at war with hip-hop. White America, the white supremacy, who has a genetic fucking beef with us, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson explains to you in the ISIS paper, in the Francis Cress color theory, why they have a problem with us. They're at war with us. They're at war with hip-hop because hip-hop will fucking absorb them. Okay? It will absorb them. And it already is absorbing their babies. It's a war against hip-hop. But we have our own industry. I would say, you know, I don't want to get signed to no label. I do music, I do art, but I want to have our own label. We could become millionaires overnight with the talent that we have in our community. This brother right here bricked the foundation out of Detroit, one of Sarah Seti's artists. Google him. He is the fucking truth. Okay? All right, scroll up. We got Rock out of Atlanta with Soul Messiah, and they have a brand of hip-hop called God Hop. Okay? These are talented. Narubi Selah. These are talented people amongst us that are multi-millionaires waiting to be made. Me and my brother have a mixtape, Watch the Pillars. We do mixtapes to go along with our radio shows over the years. This one was put out in 2011. Okay, you could Google that, Twin Pillars or Watch the Pillars, and it'll come up. Down. Clothing. Just showing you images of the facilities that we work out of. We have a small facility. As a result of our business growing exponentially, we have to expand. I just had a meeting prior to this show right here where we're moving into a new place tomorrow in Harlem. It's bigger. It's more personal. You know what I mean? It's required because we have to be able to meet demand because we're growing at an exponential rate. We're offering other brands and we're offering people who want to create brands and become startups in the clothing industry the opportunity to both manufacture and to deal with wholesaling with their brands. This is going to be a part of the initiative. We're also proposing going into different states, downtrodden states like Detroit, downtrodden states like Cleveland, downtrodden states like parts of Atlanta, and having workshops with the brothers and sisters and teaching them how to create their own clothing business, teaching them how to create their own silk screening business, teaching them how to create their own vinyl cutting business, teaching them how to take motifs and iconography from their ancestors and creating their own clothing brands, leaving behind legacy for their people, and then working with each other. How do you think the businesses build credit? You got to build credit by working with other LLCs, and that's where we come in. Okay, scroll down, please. But like I said, a lot of this information was put forth in the conscious industry, a lecture that I did called it Conscious Industry, which precedes this. And then when you see the conscious industry, you'll understand a lot more specifics about this. But I'm not being deep, you know what I mean? This is super simple. Like, I'm just trying to make it super plain because that's what's needed right now. We just got to make it plain, all right? So these are just more images of the clothing line that we have, Kings County Clothiers. We've been running for 10 years. We're growing. We're at a process of, bettering our business day by day. I'm an independent owner. I'm an independent boss. I'm my own boss. I hire people. I put people in business. So we're learning on how to improve upon that every single day, and it is a journey right here. It's a journey that I love. Businessesforsale.com. I'm throwing that to the family. That's from me to you. When you go on this website, you will see that around America, I believe this shit is global too, but definitely in every single state in America, everything is for sale. Not just some things. Every single business that you can think of is for sale. Franchises, and this website allows you to sell your own business. So if you have a business that you want to sell because you want to upgrade it, you want to get into another business, you could go on this site and set up a profile and sell it. If you want to buy a business, if there's groups amongst us who got our ones up, if there are groups amongst us who, if we join this network and we get down with this SUSU program that I'm about to share with the family, we are going to be buying businesses, warehouses, businesses that have the machinery and the workers that come with the shit. Just read the description on Businesses for Sale. They're gonna show you, like, they're selling everything. So we have the opportunity right now in these days and times to make anything happen. Buy, sell, 65,000 live businesses for sale. So it's not a secret, it's not a mystery, it's not a pontification, and damn shame no pseudo-ness. It's real fucking talk, and it's real real stuff. It's basically show and prove. It's show and prove time. There's a lot of people running around talking about what they can do and what they did do. Well, goddamn it, let's buy some businesses, okay? Because I don't see shit. I don't see nothing. I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground. We put out a search team to find a lot of stuff that people said is out there, and nobody has come back yet with anything. Alibaba.com, global trade market. It's a behemoth. It's one of the most successful websites ever created. It's in China. Go there, family. When you get off of this call tonight, go there. We got all kind of workers with Alibaba. We're working with a lot of overseas factories and manufacturers and whatnot. We're even working with some brothers in Africa. They've even included manufacturers in Africa became part of the Alibaba network. You dig what I'm saying? And you know, they're interested in doing business with Africans in America. Okay? But one thing that the brothers in Harlem never talk about is on 116th Street, right there on 125th Street, over on 116th Street is called Little Africa. And they have embassies that will send you to Africa through the embassies. And they're multimillionaires over on 116th in Harlem. But there's a lot of Pan-Africans in Harlem that never been on 116th Street. So you got to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? You got to ask a lot of fucking questions because there'd be a lot of talk, but there's no action. So we're living in this era right now. This 2016. This is time for the action. Like Future Hendrix said, what a time to be alive. Got to take advantage of this. So you'll see stagnation, and you'll see a lot of shit going in circles because, you know, without action, there's no movement. So you got a movement that wants to move, but we got to initiate action for the movement to move. Or you're going to spend 10 years watching and listening and waiting, and nothing is going to happen. And that's a fucking fact. And I promise you, you know what I'm saying? This is a lecture that I did February 21st, dealing with technology at Black and Nobel. The revolution will be digitized. That's going to be released on Netflix as well. You know, it's a lot of stuff that we don't put on YouTube because in our lectures, in our presentations, we have copyrighted material. We might want to use a beat, this like an industry beat, or we like in NWA Decoded, we were showing segments of Menace to Society, and YouTube flagged the video. We had to take down part 2, and we couldn't even put it up there because YouTube is on some bullshit now because they monetized everything. You can't even show nothing. So we got to create our own streaming service in order to even put a hip hop beat on it, or in order to show video this maybe from a movie or something like that. Scroll down, please. Technology, one of the most important conversations. We're supposed to have this conversation in the community at least twice a week. The Internet of Things. Get into the Internet of Things. Those amongst us that are creators, we got people on our network and our team that is creating platforms and technology so when the Internet of Things officially kicks off this year, they have products and services and software where they could be part of that race. What do you want to be, a customer, or do you want to be a motherfucking producer? Because all of us got smartphones, all of us is in the Apple store, the App Store, all of us are downloading things, so you're utilizing technology. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be a customer for the rest of your life? Are you going to be a part of the consumer nation, like Kanye said, the new slaves? Or are you going to be a part of the ones who are creating things? Because in Africa, okay, I'm sure you brothers overseas in Europe know what I'm talking about. In Africa, the Africans are running the fucking tech sector. The Africans are busting ass in the tech sector globally. These are young Africans, mind you. People in their 20s and their 30s, they're utilizing technology to make Africa one of the hubs. The whole fucking continent is a technological hub. What are we doing in the black community in America, technological-wise? Huh? What are we doing? What breakthroughs are we making? We on the nigger net. We not on the internet. We doing nigger net stuff. We are only customers. We are part of the consumer base. We are not creating apps. We are not creating algorithms. We are not creating software. We are not creating hardware. We are not in hackathons. You know, and I'm talking to the community for that matter, because there are people in the community that are there, but we're not identifying these people. We're not doing it where it is, you know, people are doing it on the side, like that's their job. But that shit is not on the front lines. We got to put it on the front lines. So technology is something that we're going to be dealing with. Technology is something that we are going to grab by the motherfucking horns. There are young prodigies that are 8 and 9, 10 years old. This presentation is a moving presentation. It's an MP4, so this is the PDF version to it, so you're not going to be able to see a lot of the video that I got lined up. But this young man right here is from Africa, and he said he just wants to help his family. You know what I mean? He got people like MIT and other super duper prestigious institutions flying him in and out, reaching out to him. You know, they probably taking his DNA and cloning this little dude. You know what I mean? They probably give his ass something to eat and take the spoon and send that shit to the lab and clone him because he's a prodigy. And there's a whole lot of prodigies coming out of the continent. So we got to focus on them more. So, you know, I got his Twitter handle. I'm in contact with him. I'm talking to him. You dig what I'm saying? I'm talking to a lot of these Africans that are doing their thing, and you'll be surprised how willing they are to do business with us. You know what I mean? And they don't know about us, so I'm introducing them to us. So in the near future, we're going to be having these conferences where we're gonna have global conferences, bringing in these prodigies So this shit is no longer speculative. We could talk about the empire of ancient Kush and how all of the Africans were the bomb and they were this and they had these forms. No, but what about the African? What about the shit? How about that entity or that deity or that ancestor has resurrected right now and they are in a living, breathing person on the planet right now? Who is that person? What is his Twitter handle? Where the fuck do they live at? That's what I want to know. I want to discover that. So these are the things that we're talking about, because the deity's energy doesn't die. Is that a fact? If the energy doesn't die, if spirit doesn't die, then that means to tell me if you could tell me about an ancestor from 100,000 or 1,000 or 5,000 years ago, that ancestor is here right now, and he's more powerful right now than he was before then, because experiences make you more powerful. Okay, experiences and things that you go out throughout time, you add on. It's like a video game. As you go through different levels, you gain more power. So a person in the now, right now, is more powerful than a person who existed back then, because that person is still part of you. Scroll down, please. So we got the app development for the youth. We're working on app development for at-risk youth, so we can have a facility where we're bringing young men and women who are in the judicial system, because you know they locking our babies up now. Young men that are in gangs, young men and women that are in the streets with nothing to do with themselves. We're going to bring them into the facilities where we're going to teach them how to build an app for kids and teens and teach them how to code, because they have simplified it to where it is understandable by 5-year-olds. For our brothers and sisters that are homeschooling, go to Google. Don't wait for me. Go to Google and put app development for youth and teens in the search engine, and take these free websites and teach your children how to be a part of the future in the now, right now. Okay? Because the children are digital. The parents are analog. But we got to set up the platform. We have to make it conducive for them to be able to be comfortable in their digital minds, in their digital self, in the digital dash, to make it to the motherfucking future in the 2020. Like, everything that we need is right now. You know, don't try to accuse the European for not giving you what you needed, because he's gonna smack you down and tell you that he'll checkmate you. He will adjust you when he takes your ass online and the internet and showed you everything was there at your fingertips. You could have ordered everything. Okay, so we got to get into virtual. They got the Oculus Rift that's out right now. Virtual. They're doing virtual training for armed forces and things of that nature. So you could virtually train. For all of the people that talk about they want to get into protection, and they want to get into the arms, and they want to learn. It's a lot of Negroes in the conscious community. It's a lot of people that participate, both teachers and students who used to be in the armed forces. And I don't hear you niggas speaking like you was in the armed forces. You're not giving out any kind of fucking information to protect. What are you bringing back from the army? That's all I want to know. Like, all of the people that be in the armed services, what do you be bringing back? I be looking at y'all with a side eye, because I'm like, y'all not giving us enough information, man. You know what I mean? Because if I was in some kind of armed force training, I would be training the people who are not, you know, who are kind of like not trained. I would be giving them the jewels about what I brought back from the armed forces. So we need people in our community to step forward who could actually legally have arms, who could take us to these shooting ranges and teach us certain things. There's augmented reality right now. We got to get into augmented reality. Augmented reality is the future. Google Glasses and things of that nature. Magic Leap and things of that nature. We got people inside of our network who are augmented reality developers. They are developing technology that is in augmented reality, that is in virtual reality. These are billion-dollar industries and sectors. You could bullshit with whatever else you bullshitting with if you want. You could do that. But we're just giving you a glimpse of what the future is going to look like and where we're taking this. Scroll, app maker, another app maker. This guy right here, scroll up, Gartner's mobile app store forecast. He forecasts in the industry $26 billion in sales in apps from the App Store, 102 billion downloads in 2030. 2013 and we're in 2016. So we're just giving you these numbers because our people are very numerical. We're into mathematics. I want you to crunch the numbers and realize that you could be a part of this industry, this $26 billion. The shit grown. It's grown. That was in 2013. Scroll down. You know, sometimes you got to show the people the numbers for them to understand. Virtual reality. I would love to get more into the virtual reality and all of the benefits for virtual reality. But unfortunately, we're scrolling. But know that YouTube has 360. Facebook bought Oculus Rift. So there's going to come a time either in this year or next year where we'll have a group chat on Facebook, and I'll be visual the same way that I'm visual right now. All of us will be in a room on virtual reality. We'll be kicking it and chopping it up right off of Facebook. That's where they're taking it. But instead of being consumers and customers and waiting for them to drop that shit, get into the development kit and get that shit. You do that shit. Why? I want to see, instead of going to Kemet, you could do Kemet on virtual reality. You could do the Moorish Spain on virtual reality. You could, all of these historians that love taking niggas into the past, you could do that virtually. Okay? Just showing you more things that Google is doing with Google Cardboard, more virtual. Scroll up, please. Yeah. Computer codes and languages, Ruby Rails, PHP, CSS, CSS+. You can learn that right now online for free. We're going to be teaching these courses. We're gonna have professionals teaching these courses so we can get the family up to par with the computer code languages. Those are the languages that run the world. Those are the languages where you could build worlds. Those are languages where you could destroy worlds, man. Because please keep in mind that technology is also weaponized. It is also utilized to be weaponized, and we are at war. All right? African game development, the best free site to learn, free Code Academy, free. So I'm not up here just, you know, you got to be a part of F.A.C.T.S or you got to be a part of what we're doing. No, I'm giving you free shit. I'm telling you, if you want to do it, if you feel that you want to get busy with it, then you go ahead and you go online and you go ahead and put it in Google, and you could do it yourself right now. Right fucking now. You don't have to wait. P2P to B2B. Share economy. You got to Google share economy. Get into the share economy. I don't have time to get so deep into it because it is a deep subject, but it is a solution. Okay? Uber is a share economy. Uber is people who have a car. They monetize. They disrupted the taxi industry peer-to-peer, meaning that it's my car. I'm one peer, and I'm going to pick you up. You're the other peer. I cut the middleman out. Airbnb, that's peer-to-peer. I have an apartment. I have an empty apartment. I'm one peer. You need somewhere to stay for the weekend. You're the other peer. We cut the hotel industry or the middleman out. You come to me directly, direct to market, peer-to-peer. Billions of dollars, multi-billion-dollar industry, okay? You could be a part of that. You could create your own bid. The conscious community, we need our own Uber and we need our own Airbnb. Like when we visit London, I don't want to go to a hotel. I would rather chill in somebody's loft. I'd rather chill in the fucking castle that's out there. You know what I mean? I'll rent a castle and we'll all just chill in a castle. You know what I'm saying? And build and do what needs to be done. It's not, you could go on Airbnb right now. You could rent a fucking castle. You know? That's the kind of things that I'm into. 5 steps for monetizing the $1.9 trillion internet of all things. Okay? They're giving you the game, man. They're giving up the game. Okay? It's a lot of things that you could do to monetize the $1 trillion. What is the internet of all things? Think about this. Think about the fact that you have an Apple Watch. Then they got cars that drive themselves. Then they got the Google Glasses. Then your phone does everything in the world. Soon, everything will be connected. It is already connected, but the internet of all things means everything is connected. So smartphone, smart house, smart car, smart drone. Everything is connected. So are you going to be a customer or are you going to be a contributor? You got to make the choice. You know what I'm saying? And we know that the consumer slave, you're going to be a creditor or you're going to be a debtor. I'm not going to be a debtor. I'm going to be a creditor. I'm going to be private, not public. And all of this has something to do with that. The collected life by 2020, they're just showing you numbers, $1.2 trillion. Okay? That's the expected revenue from 2011. All right. Transportation and travel. We have travel agencies that we have erected. We are affiliated with a group out of Costa Rica called Dunde Natural. This is the Costa Rican Sustainable Land Project. They didn't talk about it. This is a family of 2 different families out of Brooklyn. Young brothers and sisters from the conscious community went to Costa Rica and bought land. Now the land is already developed, but the land is developed for both vacationers or people who are tourists, and they developed the land to live on. So if you want to go to Costa Rica, if you want to relocate to Costa Rica, if you want to visit Costa Rica, if you want to send money to help build up Costa Rica, the hashtag that they follow is Black Land Matters. That's their hashtag, Black Land Matters, and it's called Dunde Natural. Google them. All right, that's where we're going to be going. We're going to have a group of us going. We went to Costa Rica. We went to Mexico in 2012. 40 of us on Know the Ledge. We're going to Costa Rica this year. We're going to Dr. Sebi's Honduras village this year. These are images of what you have awaiting you, okay? Taking baths in thermal waters, all right? That's when we went to Cozumel, Mexico in 2012. That was for the 2012 ritual. They're talking about the world is going to end in 2012, and it's the Mayans. So we took a cruise, and we went to Cayman Islands, and we went to Mexico, to Cozumel, to go see the Mayans. And the world didn't end. All right, next. Shelter, monolithic domes, and earthships. These are earthquake-proof domes. The monolithic domes are earthquake-proof. Okay, they could be utilized. They could be built for $30,000, $40,000, up to $200,000. Okay, you could go ahead and Google it. Monolithic domes. We have people who are creating monolithic domes. Afrika Bambaataa is a big proponent of it. He has people who build monolithic domes. Okay, and you also have earthships. Earthships are built out of the earth. Earthships are built with dirt, mud, bottles, the glass from bottles, tires. Okay, there's earthship communities. All right, there's earthship communities all around America right now. This website right here is called landwatch.com. This website is selling acreage by the ton. I'm talking about they're giving away acres upon acres of land. We need land, okay? We need land. We need land to build on. We need land to build these earthships on. We can get land. We don't have to have anybody's fucking, we don't have to hold, nobody has to hold our hands in order for us to get land. We have land trusts. Community land trusts are nonprofit organization to treat land as a public good. We have to own more land trusts. Buildings are owned and used by organizations, businesses, and individuals. If we had land trusts, we could move through these land trusts throughout the states. Those of us that are in the community working, one day I might say, yo, I want to go to the land trust in Miami or Florida. I might go to the land trust in this state. And as we go into these land trusts, we're building, we're helping to plant, we're helping to do things. We're working with the ghetto, we're working with the hood. We're taking people who are homeless and cleaning them up, giving them jobs, putting them in the cooperatives and the co-ops. Come on, man. La Ceiba, Honduras, the Usha village with Dr. Sebi. All right, thermal waters. We go there to heal. We go there to deal with a lot of the issues that people in the conscious community have and they don't like to deal with. That's what the brother was asking me earlier. The thing that we walk away from the community is that you use the information and all of the services and the products in the community to heal yourself, to transform yourself, because that's what this shit is about. So there's nothing that trumps health. If your health is not right, then you're not right. We got to get our health up, family, because I want to live past 60 years old. I don't want to die from ill health with a lot of resources and money, like Stephen Jobs expired before he could even see his company, or he could see the benefits of his wealth. You know, you want to be vigorous. You want to live. Dr. Sebi is having children at a very old age. He's showing you that he's living his second life. Okay? So we should attain, you know, I'm not that disgruntled with society or the way they're treating the black people that I just want to fucking commit suicide and leave this planet. I got work to do. You know what I mean? I have work to do. And I don't look at the world in a pessimistic view. I think that this shit is falling apart because we're coming up. That's how I see the world. Next, please. Strategy. Very important. We can't do anything to create more social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is the upgrade to non-for-profits and other things. Social entrepreneurship is how we could have these organizations without getting put on a fucking terror list. All right? Okay? Because that's something that nobody wants to talk about. But you let Donald Trump become president, or you let Hillary Clinton become president, you niggas is going to have to answer some fucking questions, and we're going to have to answer up to being on a terror list. You know what I'm saying? So Google social entrepreneurship, social venture capital, that's where the people come in. That's where different investors come in. That's where the athletes and the motherfucking, all of these people of prestige that are listening to the consciousness, these actors, these athletes, these industry people. I mean, cool, y'all getting the information, but where's your fund? Where's the venture capitalism? Where's the investments at? Where's the budgets at? Because you know what we do. You see what we could put forth, but we want to get in the Barclays Center. We want to get into Madison Square Garden. We want the Jacob Javits Centers to do our conventions. So we need investors. We want warehouses in Detroit. You know, we want warehouses and places so we could switch them up like they did in the Wynwood section, like they did in Williamsburg, like they did in Harlem. You know, we want to regentrify our own environment. So where the hell is the investors and the capital at? It's in the pockets and the bank accounts of these people who have expendable incomes. Because you niggas go to the club and spend $30,000. I was with you. You in the club spending $30,000. You throwing 10 racks in the strip club. You throwing $20,000 for bottle service. So where's our $30,000 in the community? Black trade lines. Google them. Group economics. We are they're part of the network. We're working with them. There's a program, a MLM that we're working with as well, where you could get $50,000 in 40 days. We'll give you information about that, further information. When you send us your email, whoever's interested has to contact us directly, because facts, we're dealing with people that are ready to do something. You know real information and real talk. And you're people amongst us out there, we're visionaries. So we know when someone is painting a picture of the future and the vision, if that's a vision that you have, we'll come on board. You know what I'm saying? Come on board. So this is the plan that we have. This is our crowdfunding Susu application. And, just for disclaimer purposes, it is copyrighted and it is trademarked. And we don't, we're not doing this in order for somebody to take this idea and run with it that's out there, because things like that do happen in the community. I'm saying that as someone who has been proliferated for some of his ideas by individuals in the community who have more resources and utilize that fact. And they take ideas and they run with them. You know what I mean? So that's just my disclaimer. So this is what it's going to be based on. It's a 30,000 membership. Now, when I say 30,000 memberships, some people might be like, oh, that's a lot. But how many views are you seeing these videos get? I just mentioned it. Our brother Rich has 100,000 subscribers. Now, subscribers and members are different. Members are people who put their money where their mouth is. Subscribers are people who are basically, you just subscribe. You're free. You are part of the free economy. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the free economy is a new economy that dictates that, you could monetize that. Because YouTube and Google and Facebook, those are all part of the free economy. Those are free software that you are utilizing on Web 2.0 as social media platforms. You ain't paying nothing for it, but you can monetize it, and they monetized it. They're selling your information. They become billion-dollar empires, and they're not charging you for shit, for nothing. But they found a way to monetize. So 30,000 members. Our first phase of what we're doing is called fortune building. In order to be a nation builder, you got to be a fortune builder. So the fortune building is our first phase. This is an app, family. So when I say app, I'm talking about it's on your phone and it's mobile. As being a mobile, everything is automated. We're writing the algorithm is being written as we speak. Okay, but there's going to be a crowdfunding campaign, because, of course, this is a very important procedure. This is a very important app. You know what I mean? So we're gonna make sure it's Trump tight. So the app is it's app based. So it's automated. So it's going to take the money out of your PayPal or your account on a weekly basis. We are asking for a $20 weekly Susu. All right. It's going to be 30,000 members at $20 weekly. At the end of that week, it will be $600,000. It's automated. So once you sign a contract, or once you, it's a 90-day program. So once you get down with the program, there's no, oh, I don't think I want it. No, you rolling with the program. And if you don't want to be a part of the program, there's no problem, because there's going to be people knocking down the door to take your place. Okay? So all of that is you know, we're looking for people who are serious about leaving a legacy. We want people who are willing to make history versus just study history. Okay? That's two totally different things. We want to make history. We want to be a part of history in this time with his brothers amongst us and sisters amongst us that are part of, that are making history every single day. So 30,000 at 20 is going to yield $600,000. That's an incubator. That's a 4-week incubator. At the end of those 4 weeks, it's a 2.4 million tally on the total. So you're going to use that 2.4 million in these different facts, in these different you know, what the hell, in the different facets that I just broke down, in food, agriculture, horticulture, land, and arms. Okay? Going and ordering and buying and securing your arms. Art. Purchasing art. Developing art. Getting budgets for our animators. Getting budgets for our illustrators. Getting budgets for our the animators and stuff like that, the video game developers and things of that nature. Can you just scroll real quick to the let me just run right through the scroll back up real quick. I'm sorry. I'm gonna run right through it real quick. I know we on time. Real up. Right back to this. All right, the second phase, nation builders. So we're gonna increase the pot to $50 a week, 1.5 million. That's a weekly take. 4-week incubator, 6 million at the total of that month. The third phase is pyramid building, 30,000 at 100. That's 3 million every week. 4-week accelerator. Now it goes from an incubator to an accelerator. An incubator is the same thing. Like if you're incubating chicken or a child, you know what I mean? It's just getting strong enough in order to get out in the world. An accelerator is now you got your feet, now you're strong, now you got your platform, now you take off. That's the accelerator. We'll be bringing in $12 million total on that. Okay, so I mean, Malcolm X taught me to keep it plain, and I don't know if there's any plainer than that. Okay. And we will get our 30,000. Please believe me. I'm working with my brothers. And if my brothers will work against me, if anybody works against me, then it's just shame on them. And it's going to come down on their head 100 times stronger than anything. You dig what I'm saying? Because there are egos out here that will stop this, because they want to be the one. They want to be the Neo. So you got to somehow like work with shit like that. But that's what's out. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay, that's what we're gonna be doing. So we could continue to scroll down. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. This is a video where it shows every startup should move to Africa. The Europeans is running to Africa. They know what's going on. They understand what's popping. This was like an hour and a half long. European was laying it down. Okay. Fortune builders, nation builders. The collective is the solution. I just showed you how all of these members could come together. So we need 5,000 from the Nation of Islam, 5,000 from the Gods and Earths, 5,000 from the Nile Valley, 5,000 from the Moors, 5,000 from the metaphysics community. We got our 30,000. You know what I mean? 5,000 from the activists and the, you know, Black Lives and all of these other people that want to, you know, they out there. Give me your best 5,000 with $20. With $20, nobody asks you for nothing else, because the 50 and the 100, you don't even come out of pocket with that. It's just $20. If you can't put $20, you can't live in this day and age. You don't deserve to fucking, you know, I'm just saying, not what Red Pill say, but society says you can't fucking live, my nigga. You're expendable in these days and times. If you can't front $20 to help nation build and to get off of your knees, you don't deserve to live. You know what I mean? That's what they saying. That's some Donald Trump shit. That's what he gonna be on. You don't deserve to live. He's a fascist that's coming in the same way Hitler came in. He was gonna cleanse the fucking planet of useless eaters. Mark my word. You better get on your fucking job for 2016. You could play on YouTube all day. You could wait for this person or that person. You do all of that. They seen on the horizon, then you know that it's time to stop playing games, man. It's really time to stop playing games. Okay? So you can research the Know the Ledge Research Fund. That is on GoFundMe right now. You know what I'm saying? That is up there right now. We're going to do more of a campaign, you know, where we're going to launch it. We might do the couch, you know what I'm saying? Or we might do it on Brother Rich's channel. But that's what we have, the research fund. Scroll down real quick. Self-defense, all right? We have the right to bear arms. We have the right to defend ourselves. We have the fucking army on the ground. Look at these pictures right here. These are just pictures over the past few months of, no, not that. Yeah, that's all. That's all. You can get all that. That's all online. Don't act like you don't feel bad that you're wearing a fucking vest. Like, come on now. Don't feel bad that you can invest in some artillery to protect. Nobody's saying to rob nobody. This is for our brothers and sisters who went into the armed services, who went into law enforcement. So if you ain't have a problem seeing them armed then, you shouldn't have a problem seeing them armed now. These people have training. You know what I mean? They work for Uncle Sam. They should be fucking trusted. You know what I'm saying? So we need to see them visually in our community repping RBG flags, repping red, black, and green, repping the Nation of Islam regalia. We have standing armies. We met them at the Million Man March. I met the army. I met the 10,000 fearless. I was standing there with them. The shit is real. They're really out there. Go down another one. When we went to Atlanta, we met them in Atlanta. That's called that. We got standing armies. You're looking at soldiers. You're looking at frontline soldiers. You're looking at your army family. You're looking at the people that's going to defend the babies and the mamas and all of that. That's right. Scroll down. Then in Harlem, there's your standing army. These are the brothers and sisters who are the front line. You know what I'm saying? And each one of them have 10,000 or 5,000 people or 100,000 people, or maybe 1,000,000 people who stand behind them. There's your army. We need to stop asking about where's the army and all that. Your army is right there. 3D printed guns. Get into the 3D printing, okay? They're 3D printing guns. They're 3D printing bridges. They're 3D printing cars. They're 3D printing houses. We should have warehouses with 3D printing machines running constantly. All right. So now the Europeans are investing in Africa. They dumping money in Africa. It's time for us to get off get off of our asses and do that. We got to invest in Africa. We got to get it going. You know what I'm saying? Drone technology. Get some fucking drones. Get into the drones. Learn about the drones. Start with a miniature drone, and just know in your mind that you will have access to a Predator drone if you need one. In the very near future, if you need one, because that's where war's going. You better have access to some fucking. You better hack a drone or something, because they're gonna be droning niggas in 2016. You know what I'm saying? Please believe that. They will be droning people. So that's facts. I can't hear you that good. I can't hear your volume.
Hopefully you should be able to hear me now.
I hear you now.
Just a little problem with the mixer.
Okay.
So we're here, live and direct. Wow. I think we need to actually start making a hashtag for facts. Hashtag facts. Hashtag KTL radio. Hashtag the red pill. You know what? We've actually run out of time, but I want to actually take some questions from our audience members or any comments that our audience members actually want to make. I know there is an issue at the moment that the comment section down below or on the side is not working. We apologize. Hopefully we'll get that sorted out for the next show. But for those of you who actually want to actually ask a question, you can always Facebook me. Kalam SPEL, or if you're in the Facebook group Talk with the Titans, or the Facebook fan page Talk with the Titans, just leave a message there and I'll try to read it out. But I know we've got a caller right now who wants to ask a question. or make a comment, and that's my brother, Jins. Are you there? Brother DJ, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was in the middle of a studio session. I'm listening in and out at the same time.
No problem. So, did you have a question for the brother Red Pill?
I mean, he spoke on a lot of stuff. What I did hear was, the brother was speaking from a position that Cosby used to have before he got real old. You know what I'm saying? He used to say it jokingly on stage. And some of the same stuff Brother Red Pill was saying. But he spoke on a lot of stuff though. When I first seen the post on Facebook, I had another position that I wanted to because I thought it was going to come from another position. But when I heard him speak, then I lost that position on wanting them asking the questions on the stuff because the position that I put it like this: the misinformation that I had or the misrepresentation that I had was always just a look that I always seen on Sarnetta's TV and never really just heard him speak for himself. It's like him playing the background a lot more or less than being the upfront voice. And I know that's not his platform, so he can't bombard somebody else's situation. But other than that, he spoke on a lot of he had a lot of good talking points though. So I got to view the video and go back over it again from the archive.
Definitely. I think we all need to actually review the video, pause it on certain points within inside of the presentation, take notes, go back, research the websites that were given, and especially if you want to buy a business, research that buy a business, view the website and see what businesses you can actually get into. Teach your children app building. We need to teach our children technology, how to actually survive in this futuristic state that we're actually dwelling in right now. The future is now. So you know what, my brother Basim, because we're literally running out of time. We've run over time. But if you have any questions or comments for our brother Red Pill, please let us know.
Okay, I appreciate it, Kalam. No, I didn't have any questions. I just, the brother Red Pill gave a real thorough presentation. I enjoyed it. The world is progressing, and it's progressing fast, and technology is constantly being pushed, and it's being advanced daily. So he had a lot of good information. So I wish Red Pill, his brother Blue Pill, the twin pillars, the KTL Empowerment, KTL, Know the Ledge Radio. I wish him and his brother and his family the best of luck and success, and have a safe trip overseas. Red Pill, I enjoyed it. Take care. Honors, brother.
Honors. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Excellent. And you know what? You know what? If you've got your questions, please send them in. I'm going to take one more question. If you have a question, please send it in. Oh, there is something here. Okay.
All right.
So,
Nobody have a question? I had a question.
Okay. Before we round up the show, I need to actually ask our brother Red Pill one last question. Red, when are you coming over to the UK? That's what I want to know. We've had so many people come over. We've had people like Mwata Ashby come over. We've had people like Renoka Rashidi come over. We're having Gano Grills coming over at the end of the month. The question to you is, when are you going to grace the UK, London especially, with your presence?
Yeah, we were actually we were working with our brother. Brother has a radio show called Do the Knowledge Radio, Knowledge Born Allah. He is responsible for bringing A.A. Rashid, True Master, Black Dot, and I think somebody else over to Germany in 2007 or 8. He was in the armed services, armed forces for that matter, and I was just kicking it with him. He's back in Tacoma, Washington, in the United States right now. And I was like, yo, I'm trying to get over to the UK, bro. Like, what's up? You know, you did the lecture across the globe. You know, do you have any connections? So he was saying that he was reaching out to some people. Shit, I'm about to call Gano up right now. Be like, Duke, man, let me open up or something. Like, you know, you gotta bring the pills with you, bro. You're doing a whole week. You know, shit. We gotta start pulling in some favors. You know what I mean? Like, all of the shows that we did, we gotta start calling up these brothers and saying, like, open up a lane or something. You know. But if there's any brothers and sisters that are in the UK that would love to invite us over, everything works on invite. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to invite myself over there and just Debo. You know, we're more the kind that says that if there's a group or organization or promoter that wants us to come through, because I would want to come with my mother. Like, I would definitely want my mother to have that experience. You know, she's a global citizen as it is anyway. She loves to travel. So like, I just love being there and letting my mother see me and my brother do what we do, and then sitting there watching her do what she does. Because, you know, I was a young child, and like I said, like, we went through the hardships of consciousness. Like, this shit wasn't fly in the 80s. Like, eating healthy was ridiculed in the 80s. Healing people of AIDS was looked down upon in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, saying that you're not sending your children to school, and saying that you're not feeding your children meat, and saying that you're not giving Jesus Christ to your children, like, you are an outcast back in the days. So my mother endured a lot of that ridicule. She endured a lot of her and Sebi endured a lot of you know, a lot of the jealousy of the community, a lot of the ego, and all of these negative things. So it's almost like to see her time right now, her shining right now, like that's doing something for me. You feel me? You know, like I said, I was in the streets when I was younger, so I put my parents through a lot of stuff as well. Like, I was responsible for a lot of gray hairs. So it's almost like I'm giving back. You know what I mean? To let them know while they're alive that we're standing for something, and we're not gonna destroy the family's name. You know?
Okay. So you know what? I think
Yeah.
over here at Titans TV, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on this. I think we need to get you over here in the summertime when it's nice and warm. Because right about now, and I think you're roughly on the same type of line as us. So I'm pretty sure it's winter where you are as well, and it's cold as hell. So we're gonna try to get you over here when it's summertime, when it's nice. We can take you around on some tours, take you to the British Museum, take you to Tucson, take all of that, take you to the Buckingham Palace, take you to Parliament, everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you around everywhere. So hopefully,
how far is Spain from where you at?
Spain is roughly about 2-hour journey, 2-hour plane trip away.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, because I want to take the family and give them peninsula history, take you into the castles that have become, you know, Christianized churches, but show you like, yo, this was, you know, these were African, you know, architecture, you know what I mean, with the whole what do they call that? The arabesque way of creating things, the arabesque architecture, the most. I would love to give the family the real, you know what I mean? And I'll go and let the Europeans tell, if, you know, because you know how people are, they need verification and shit, you know what I mean? But one thing that the intermediary in that whole thing is a black man with knowledge, or a black woman with knowledge. That's the shit that's been missing in the whole equation. That's why when you go to the museum, the European has been able to tell you any fucking thing. The only thing that was missing, the black people showed up and the white people were there. The thing that was missing in the middle, we don't have middlemen. We don't have responsible enough middlemen from our communities that are inserting themselves in these situations and saying, nah, that's not what it is. It's this. You know what I mean? That's not what that shit meant. It meant that. You know, if you go to the Metropolitan Museum, you're looking at Greco-Rome. You're really looking at Egypt. There's Kemet and there's Egypt. There's Greco-Rome, Ptolemy, Egypt, and there's the 18th dynasty and everything that comes before that. That's Kemet. In these museums, you got to differentiate what the fuck is what. Because you might be touching some shit, giving it mad energy, and that's some pagan, that's some Euro shit. You know what I mean? I'm not with that.
That's
you know. I go into museums and try to disrupt shit. I don't go there, you know, I don't go and pay them no money. And I go and try to, you know, I be talking to their ancestors like, what you want me to do up in this piece? Because, you know, I was doing the museum as a baby. Like, I'm past that. I'm trying to get something up out that bitch. Like, what paperwork do we got to file to clean out the museum? That's the shit I'm interested in, because that's the scene of the crime. It hurts when I go in that bitch, because you can't put no Europeans on display for the world to see. But they doing that to our people, and our people don't have a problem with that. And that's a problem. You can't display bodies and shit.
Right. I always said that. I always said that.
Yeah.
I always said that, man.
You know what?
I'd rather go in there with a hammer and just break some shit.
That energy right there reminded me of my elders, who actually, where our local Masonic lodges or Masonic center is, they ran up in there and stole a whole heap of artifacts and books from there and brought it back to us. So, you know what? I feel that energy. I feel that energy.
I've been in a lodge in Atlanta, and I came out heavier than I went in. I'm only. I say that.
You know what? We've actually reached
up in that piece.
We've actually reached the end of the show right now. You know, we're gonna definitely have our brother Red Pill back in. We're gonna have Blue Pill back in as well. Hopefully we get Katie, the arch degree, and Mama Pill. Of course, we need to get Mama Pill up in the studio. That would be a blessing right there.
He's the hidden. That's the hidden one right there.
That's it.
He completes the cipher.
So we've literally reached the end of the show. We ran over the show by at least an hour, and hopefully I can edit out the beginning. But yes, so you know what? This has been Talk with the Titans, and you've been tuned in with our brother Red Pill. If you've got any last words that you want to say to our audience, please drop it right now.
I want to promote my website.
Our brother will be back to promote his website, so just bear with us.
Kings County, you know, we got the whole Garvey collection. We're working on sending. We haven't done overseas orders as of yet because of the whole shipping fees. We have to figure that out. I didn't know that it's so expensive to ship. So we were trying to work with some couriers that were actually Aboriginal or black owned, so we could start shipping overseas. But we're going to fix all of that very, very soon. So Kings County, K-I-N-G-Z as in zebra, KOUNTY.BIGCARTEL.com, .bigcartel. That's the store, you know, that's the host. And the store is kingscounty.bigcartel.com. There's so much stuff going on. I just want to leave it with that. You know, there's a whole new collection up there. The King Tut hoodies, the Garvey hoodies. You know, we're going to be putting more stuff. There's jewelry. You get the hat from my brother Copper Mike. You know, he has some stuff up there. Another brother who's a designer, we sell his stuff. So we don't have a website just for us. We promote other people. You know,
that's group economics right there.
Yeah. So, yo, thank you, man. I'm honored to be here. I wish we could talk more. So much to talk about. But I'm sure that we'll continue this conversation.
Definitely. We're going to continue this dialogue as soon as we come off air. So everybody who's tuning in right now, if you've liked what you've seen so far, please give us a big thumbs up. And don't forget to share this like crazy with your friends and family. And let's get discussing these types of topics more. We need to discuss these type of topics more on Talk with the Titans. As well, if you're new to the show, please hit the subscribe button down below. As well, there should be a panel of videos over here that's got our Talk with the Titans shows, past shows, Shaka Ahmed's, Dr. Ali Muhammad, the list goes on, and also our debate section, Speakers Corner debate sections, where we have loads of debates from atheism, Kemeticism, Christianity, Islam, and so forth. So tune into those as well. So this has been Kalam L, and I've been your host on Talk with the Titans. Peace.